Good afternoon. Al Barlow here with Technologies for Justice, and I'm going to do a demo on how to properly use ESAS, preferably very quickly. And like, for instance, if you're in court and you're involved in some plea negotiations with a prosecutor, or you're in the office, or even at a deposition, and you want to run some data on your computer, I'm going to show you how to do that very quickly so that you can facilitate dispositions a lot quicker. So once I log into ESAS, I'm going to run a 794.011, which is a sexual battery with slight force, first offense. 794.011 at 154 points to 154 points for first offense. And we're looking at Jacksonville. I have all 20 circuits available, but what we're going to see here is it's going to pull up cases in Clay County, Duval, and Nassau County. So once I hit search right here, I'm going to try to show you how quickly this can be done. It doesn't have to take a long time to do. It will depend upon your internet speed, of course. If you have a system that's running slow, it's going to take you a lot longer. And our system is running a little slow today. So what we want to do is the first thing we want to do is see how many cases came up right here. It's 35 cases. Now, once we start sorting, come down here to the bottom right where I am circulating with my cursor. That number is going to change. So the original search is 35 cases. Now, I only want 794.011 and 0115. I'm really looking for 0115. I don't want 0115A. So I come over here and click. So it went from 35 cases down to 26 cases. Now I'm looking at apples and apples and oranges to oranges. We have all level 8 cases. We have multiple pleas and several trials. I only want to look at the pleas. So I'm going to eliminate the trials. And that brings me down from 35 to 26 now to 22 cases. And now every box here that's lit up is going to show you that it's a downward departure. So that tells you the vast majority of first offense cases in Clay, Duval, and Nassau counties, first offense sexual battery are downward departures. Okay, so of the 22, all but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are downward departures. That's good data to have. Now, once you look over here, it shows you what kind of sentences we have. That's 6 months county jail, followed by 3 years probation. That is 1 year county jail, followed by 5 years probation. That is 2 years community control, followed by 2 years probation. And this one here is state prison, 10 years, followed by 3 years probation. As you can see, these are outliers down here, these two, okay? So we're going to eliminate these outliers just for statistical purposes. I'm going to take these outliers out. And so now we're going to come over here and run some stats, because what we want to see is what's the average sentence of most of the cases. And as you can see, here's what ESAS says: 20 cases, minimum 0.1, that's 6 months, the maximum 8 years. The average sentence is 3.10 years. The median sentence is 2 years. So you come over here, you see the maximum sentence in years is 1 and 1.5 state prison, 1 year community control, 6 months county, 4 years probation. That averages out to be 3.1 years sentence for the split sentences. And the median is 2 years. So this tells you if a state attorney is offering you the bottom of the CPC, which is 7.9 years, that is an outlier. Even though it's at the bottom of the CPC, it is an outlier based upon the normal plea bargaining that goes on in this particular circuit. Now, if you want to look at some dynamics, you can click the case number here, and it will show you the dynamics. This is a ESAS generated score sheet. And so if you want to look at here, you see victim injury, sexual penetration right there. And this will take you to the next record. You go to the next record, and it will show you, as soon as it comes up, it'll show you that this person was facing a minimum of 94.5 months to a maximum of 180. Everybody should be facing that because this is a first offense. But it shows you the case number, the county, the circuit, the judge, And sometimes the prosecutor's name will be here. And it shows you that it was a plea. It shows you the sentence, 6 months county jail, followed by 3 years probation. And so that's basically how you can look at the data and run it. Now, what's very important is once you run the stats, you can show your client, for instance, if you've gotten a 5-year offer, you can show your client that the average, is 3 years, and so 5 years is not far off from 3. But what you really want to do is try to use this to show the prosecutor that their offers are a little bit higher than the statistical averages. Most cases are downward departures. And so you can ask this prosecutor, why are you not offering my client a downward departure with a first offense, like the rest of them? Now, here's one more thing that's very important. If you want to, I need to show you how you can look at the details of the data. You hit show details, spread out everything, show you how many primary offense points, additional offense points, if applicable, victim injury points, prior record points, legal violation points, violation of probation or VOCC, weapon, prior felony enhancements, and then the sentence here, and then the splits. If there's a split sentence, it's going to show you which is which over here. Okay. Now, if you want to export this data, all you have to do is hit Excel export. And then when that Excel file comes up, you'll be able to download. It takes a minute for it to come up. You'll be able to download that data onto your computer and preferably save it in the file for you. There it is right there. And save it in the file for your client. You just have to hit enable editing, and then you can save that data to your computer. So that's basically how you run ESAS searches and the data and everything else. If you have any issues with anything, I can be reached. My email is technologiesforjustice@gmail.com, technologiesforjustice@gmail.com, or I can be reached at 855-845-3727, 855-845-3727. You all have ESAS. You can run this data. If necessary, if you have a contest, let me say it like this. If you have a contested sentencing hearing after a lost trial, there's no reason to not use ESAS. As a matter of fact, I think it's legal malpractice to not use ESAS when you have lost a trial and you have nothing to lose. Because once you show, especially if you're dealing with a younger judge or a judge that was not on the, did not practice criminal law before they ascended to the bench, or a judge that's just not that experienced, if you don't use ESAS, that prosecutor is going to ask for the bottom of the guidelines or something higher than that. But if you have this data, you can show that the prosecutor is really overreaching the judge or trying to overreach the judge. And what I would do sometime when I was still practicing every day is I would say, well, Judge, can you have the prosecutor to explain what's so different about this case? It's a first offense like the rest of them. What's so different about this case that the prosecutor is asking for twice the number of years that the average other prosecutor negotiated in this particular case? And the last thing I would ask you to do is when you're looking at the score sheets, try to find out whether or not the prosecutor that you have agreed to one of those lower dispositions, or whether or not their supervisor did. Because a lot of times you can find a supervisor who authorized a lower sentence, and you show that to the current prosecutor, they can take that back to their supervisor and say, look, the defense attorney showed me that you resolved the case just like this, if not worse. So can I have an authorization to resolve my case for what you did? And a lot of times it will work. Okay. So please use the system. It will work for you if you use it. And the last thing I want to say is the more you practice it, the better you will get at using it. Okay. Thank you.